Hello there, and welcome to the Super Unicum guide for the Steel Titans beta. Today, I'll be having a look at the most melee tank in the game, and one of the most tankiest medium tanks, the Panzer 38T. The 38T is the second best thing to come out of Chechia, losing only to Beer. The Ausführung has around 30mm of armor on the lower front plate, 40mm on the mid front plate, and only 30mm on the upper front plate. The turret front also has 30mm, and if for some goddamn reason the enemy can't pen the front, pray they don't know about the massive exposed turret ring which only has around 20mm of protection. Side armor is basically non-existent. The thing when hit at around a 90-degree angle has only 18mm of armor, which means that it can be penned easier than a Panzer IV. The lower armor also has only 18mm, which means that, if you're not facing the enemy forwards the whole time, you will die faster than you can say the Pelkupplungsgetriebe. As you see on most of the German tree, this thing is an absolute glass cannon, having a 37mm cannon as its main gun. A PHEC is respectable, and will do you fine most of the time, but differently from the Panzer 3J, a PCR actually has a use, since you might not be able to pen shit like the VK30 without it. The Ausführung F, on the other hand, fixes the armor problem almost completely, with both the lower and upper front plate being around 65mm, with the mid front plate being around 85mm. The turret ring is still vulnerable, however now it at least reaches around 35mm on the middle, this being the easier point to pen. Sides now also have around 35mm, which means that American 50 calibers can no longer lulpen you. Wait, I thought the Americans were not in the game, you might say. I mean, the tech tree has a freedom banner for a reason. There is not a lot of reason to use either of the Czech tanks on tier 1, as the Ausführung F can be easily penned from the sides. The fact that both lead to the Panzer IV F2, which completely outclasses the best Panzer III, the Ausführung M, is enough to consider at least researching it. This was the Super Unicum guide for the Czech Panzers, the 38T and F. You better hope that your enemies are as brain dead as most Russians during Operation Barbarossa, cause if anyone has at least 2 brain cells they will completely destroy your tin can and fill it with beer, so that the factory workers in Bohemia can have a nice Friday night, have a great invasion of France, and hope to change to a Panzer III by the time Barbarossa starts.